And Rob, I'm sure you heard this, that the reports came out last week on Friday that Major League Baseball was considering potentially having to shut down the season. Now, Rob Manfred, the MLB commissioner, went on to talk to a few outlets, I guess. Yeah. But he was on ESPN, talked to Carl Ravitch, and said that they would not be canceling the season. They're going to try to get through it. Rob G., you want to read what he said?
Yeah, here's the quote he said, "We are playing. The players need to be better, but I'm not a quitter in general, and there is no reason to quit now. We have had to be fluid, but it is manageable." Excuse me.
I don't like it. First of all, whether or not you're a quitter, that's got nothing to do with this. This is health. This is people's health on the line. This is a global pandemic. Nobody's saying you're a quitter. And if you can't finish the season, nobody's going to say it's because you were a quitter. So keep the personal ego tripping out of it. And then I don't like that he threw the players under the bus. They got to be better. You got to be better too, Rob Manfred. I mean, Rob, I will not understand why Major League Baseball did not go into a bubble. Or let me put it this way, bubbles.
It's the same reason the NFL's not going in the bubble.
No, it's not. The
Yes,
NFL has far more players.
No, baseball.
And Major League Baseball could go into three bubbles. They considered going into three bubbles.
I think
they could have
realized
three bubbles that would have been, each one of them would have been smaller than the NBA's one bubble.
Two of the bubbles would have been in Arizona and Florida.
Arizona, and Texas.
Right, which were all the three hot spots at the time.
But you're in a bubble.
Yeah,
the NBA's in Florida. And they're fine.
NBA has how many players? 200? There's 200 in the bubble compared to 1,000 in baseball. No, I'm just saying.
1,000 wouldn't be in each bubble, Rob. I didn't say one bubble. I said if you split the 30 teams up into three bubbles.
I think it was easier to do in the NBA with one bubble and less players. There's only 200 players that you're trying to get to do this.
First of all, it's far more than 200 players. There's 17 players on 22 teams. That's far more than 200. That's 300 some odd players. There's about close to 800 people in the NBA bubble.
Well, and if you got 30 players on each baseball team times 30,
nobody's
30 times
saying
30,
that's 900.
No, but you got coaches. Every team has
That's why nobody's
15,
saying
20 coaches, ball
Do you
boys.
not hear me, Rob? One bubble, not one bubble. Three bubbles. Each one of them smaller than the NBA bubble.
I don't think I'm going to be honest, and you could rip Manfred or whatever on his thing. I get where his point was. Part of it was, Chris, one of the teams, the players were going out. They were out in public or partying or doing something. The other thing is some of the stuff that they asked the players not to do. High fives, unnecessary touching, being in the dugout. They're supposed to be sitting in the stands, not on top of each other. Go look at some of the video. They're on top of each other. Some guys are talking with each other without mask on. There's some stuff that they could clean up, and I think that's what he was talking about when he was talking about that the players can do better. And the other part is I don't think that playing baseball is where they're contracting it because of the sport is a social distancing sport itself. People aren't on top of each other. You don't really need to be exchanging sweat or spit if you were to do some of the things that they're talking about. As much as you've had the two outbreaks, and I'm not, it's happened.
And
Miami had it. And
you can't downplay them.
No, I'm not. But then there's 28 other teams where you don't have these. The Yankees have played every night.
But only a couple teams might be able to ruin it for everybody.
Well, but I'm just saying, I think what he was talking about was some of the rules that they laid out that the players had gotten lax on, and I think that's what he was trying to make the point. That's all.
I'm not saying the players aren't.
Have you noticed some of that stuff? I'm just asking you.
But you don't. Why in the world would you throw the players under the bus like that? Why would you do that? And as if you've been blameless.
I think he was trying to make the point that this is already going to be a tough situation, but we need you to be closer to what we've asked you to do, and I think that's why he said we need the players to do better.
He can send that message through Tony Clark. He can send it through the teams themselves.
I agree with that.
He doesn't need to. You know what I'm saying?
I'll agree with that, but the message
it
could
makes
have gotten
it look like you're
the message could have gotten
buck.
crossed. No, I get that.
Because
you don't always have to do it in public.
Perfect. Right. They haven't been.
You don't have to do it
and
in
here's
public.
the thing. I'm reading this story on SI.com, and it says the plan that they laid out for the players. It says this. MLB will not formally restrict the activities of covered individuals when they are away from club facilities, but will expect the covered individuals on each club to ensure that they act responsibly. Now, what is that? Some people might take that as not going out to a club or a bar, and others might think, well, I can go to a bar if I have a mask, or I can go to a bar if I socially distance, or whatever it may be. I think they needed to spell it out more for guys. So, and here's the main reason, Rob, I think they should have been in a bubble. Or bubbles. Because a bubble protects you from yourself. Like the NBA, you got players that have gone out of the bubble, but you know what? They go out, they have to pay the price. You're quarantined for several days. And guys have that desire. Baseball players, football players, basketball players, regular human beings. Heck, half of America is not socially distancing and not following the rules. And so you have to understand that and say, okay, you know what? We protect the players from themselves and be in a bubble. And it's not that long. I get it if you were trying to play 100 games or 120 games or something like that. 60 games. So I just think they dropped the ball with that, Rob. I think they should have been in 3 bubbles.
We'll see when the NBA allows the kids and their spouses and whatnot to come in. We'll see how well that'll work and if it stays like this. So far, it's been good and good for the NBA. I think it was easier with where they were and the one bubble, but we'll see.
Yeah, I just think that I can't believe that you are going on your trash talking Tuesday and killing the NBA. And I'm with Rob Parker. You are a purist. You're going to kill the NBA for changing rules.
What?
But yet, I want to see your trash talking Tuesday about baseball. You're putting a player on second base to start extra innings.
You already know I don't like
this?
it. You already know I don't
the
like
Augusta Little League?
I'm going to wait for it.
7-inning doubleheaders. What's next? The team mom bringing snacks for everybody after the game?
I'm a woman.
I want to hear that, Rob Parker.
It's coming.
I want to hear the if I'm writing, I'm ripping Rob Parker of my youth.
It's all, I have to do one every Tuesday, so trust me. They're coming. They're coming. And I just thought the Zion won because of the big game tonight. And obviously Chris, and we're not going to get off the topic, but we'll talk about just the idea that, they were hoping to get the Pelicans in the playoffs, and they lose the first 2 games. And, they got a 26% chance of making the playoffs now, dropped. So
that's
it'll be
an
interesting to see if
urban
it
legend.
happens.
I don't think they were trying to get
yeah.
Zion in the playoffs. It would be nice. It'd be fine, but they're not the fixers in or anything like that.
But you know what? Here's my flip side to the baseball thing, and this is the part, Chris, when you talk about it that I'm surprised about, and it tells me about the players, is that Nick Markakis
is another scout massage coming.
No, from the Atlanta Braves,
foot massage,
who opted back in after originally first saying that he didn't want to play. And then the other one that I think I was a little surprised, Chris, and tell me if you were as well, but Mike Trout had a baby, him and his wife, and he's coming back after 4 days to rejoin the Angels. And considering the outbreaks with the Cardinals, right, and Miami, that would make you want to drop out, wouldn't it? When you think like, there's no way I could be protected, right? Are you surprised that Mike Trout decided to come back, given that there have been 2 outbreaks?
A tad bit, I guess. But I think these guys want to play. They love the game, or most of them love the game. and all of them like it, I would imagine. And so I'm not surprised that they want to play. And I think the more they play, the more their juices begin flowing. You know what I mean? And you want to get back and get going again. Maybe before the season started, before you're seeing games, you're thinking, man, there's not going to be any fans there.
It ain't going to be fun,
dangerous. Right? Yeah, it won't be the same.
And then all of a sudden you watch some of the games,
juices kick in. Yeah. And so I salute all the athletes. I think the NBA players as well. I mean, the games have been tremendous. I've really enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed the baseball games as well. I haven't been bothered. NBA especially, I think they've done a remarkable job with the game presentation. It doesn't look like they're playing in an empty arena. You're seeing the fans, the virtual fans, which are real people in the crowd. They got the crowd noise in, which is great because it makes it feel like there's intensity, almost like it's a college basketball game at Duke or something like that.
It's a well-produced television show.
And baseball, obviously, it's tougher to do that. But obviously, you'd rather have fans, but the lack of fans has really not taken away from the excitement that I'm feeling.
I agree.
Watching the game.
And you could hear the crowd noise, Chris, like the murmur underneath that they're playing. So that sounds good. It's like not overdone. And some of the places have the fans in the stands with the cardboard cutouts. And then some of the other ones have the virtual. I think ESPN has the virtual, right? They put in the stands in the outfield or whatever. So it's been, I agree with you. I've been watching, and I haven't been like, oh, this is drab or this is boring. I've enjoyed it as well. I've enjoyed watching what I've seen.
On the 7-inning doubleheaders?
I get it. The least you play, like I'm chucking. The only problem.
Rob G, where's Rob Parker going?
No, I'm just.
I think he's still in Detroit.
Who is this? Is this an imposter?
No, I mean
What the heck is going on? If basketball went to playing 40-minute games, you would be killing it.
It's a pandemic, and I'm just. Because I've already given in to everything, Chris. I gave in to putting a man on second base in the 10th inning, not on the 14th inning because you don't want the game. I've given in to 16 teams, more than half the league that Major League Baseball turned into the NBA and hockey.
Stop it.
That's what it's turned into. I hate it.
How about different numbers of games? How about the Marlins going to play like 38 games?
They weren't making the playoffs anyway. They weren't making the playoffs anyway.
Oh, my gosh. We'll see, though. We hope all of them can make it through.
I think they'll make it through.
Were you worried at, like, late last week?
You know why I wasn't? Because it wasn't like a lot of teams. If it was, like 4 or 5 teams around the league, Chris, because you're going to have situations where this happens. Do you know what I mean? It's going to happen. But really
everybody's so intertwined. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it affects more than one
or
two teams.
All right, even when the Marlins were there and then they tested the Phillies, none of the players got it.
Right.
That was encouraging. Didn't you think that was encouraging?
Yes.
That definitely. None of the Phillies got it. 2 coaches and a clubhouse attendant got it, Chris, and two of the people got false positives.
I tell you what's interesting because I have 2 friends whose sons play baseball. And they're playing.
They're playing, I know.
They're just playing regular baseball. Like one of them, they're playing every day. And I wonder, do some of these kids, have they gotten it? And, they're not getting tested every day. Have some of these kids gotten it and you're asymptomatic and, you know what I mean? You kind of move on without even knowing you had it. So it's strange, that amateurs are playing regularly.
My godsons are playing.
Right, they're playing.
They're
so what? They're not playing in mask either, right?
No.
Yeah,
no.
They're just playing.
It is weird to see some of the baseball players with masks on, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the field.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Rob. Let's get to the listeners. 877-99 on Fox if they want to weigh in on MLB.
All right, let's do it. Let's kick it off with Mark in Sacramento. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mark?
What's going on, Rob? Welcome back, man. You got any more vacation time left? Because you've been doing a lot, bruh.
What?
Hey, you right on the money. He
This
does
is,
too,
hey,
probably.
Mark, this is furlough. I got no
About
choice
4
in this.
weeks, he'll be gone again.
Nah, I got no
okay,
choice.
bruh. Okay, man, but you leave us with substitute teachers when you're gone, man. We just miss you. That's all. That's all.
It's all good. I'm glad to be back. I'm rejuvenated.
Right on.
Feel great.
Hey, real quick on the baseball thing, I think it would have been tough to put them in a bubble. First of all, the union and the players, they negotiate everything, and those cats are spending too much time all the way up to the end talking about money. So I don't even really think they thought about it to the end. By the time they thought about it, it was too late. They had pushed themselves so far into July, they had to get going. So I don't even think they had a plan.
They
I can tell you one
considered two different I know at least two different bubble plans. One was one bubble, one was three. Like Robbie said, in Florida, Texas, and Arizona.
Right, and at that time, those were the three hot spots happening.
And one wasn't going to be in Arizona because today I think it's at 112, and they only got one indoor stadium, so they wasn't going to be playing outdoors on 112, man, not in Arizona.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, Mark. Thank you so much. Let's check in with Jeff in Boise. You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up?
I think piggybacking on what that last guy said, I think the players would have killed it. I don't think the players were up for a bubble. And the reason I think that is look at the restrictions they have on their off time. There aren't any. It's recommendations. These are the most litigious and bickering union and league in all of sports. And I think those players said, you can't tell us what to do in our free time, and you sure can't lock us up in one of the three hottest states in the country in the middle of the summer, away from our families. And I think that's why Rob Manfred had to do it in the news. He had to put the players on blast in the news because that's the only way that it works when these two negotiate. Everything was in the public leading up to this. I don't know why they'd change and go behind their back and, channels now.
Jeff, that's a great point.
They're
dealing with the strongest union in not only in sports, in America. They get everything, Chris. Where everybody else took a hit, they got their full salaries.
I think you've seen reports where the players may not, didn't want a bubble. I don't know that it was official because I think if they officially said, look, we're not playing in a bubble, I think Manfred would have came out and said it. Because he's getting – a lot of people are like, dude, this is on you. You're not –
ultimately, it is going to be – ultimately, it is on the commissioner.
Well,
so I agree with that.
He couldn't force them into a bubble
No,
if
I
they
know
refused.
that, but it's
so
still,
I think he would have came out and said it if they had officially said, no way, we're not playing in a bubble.
I got you. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let's go with Sean in Sacramento. What's up, Sean?
Man, it's good to hear both of my uncles from another mother back on the radio together, man. How y'all doing over there?
Man,
we are
we're
great,
good.
man.
What's
we are
up,
great.
buddy?
How are you?
I got a bone to pick with you, Chris, man. You can't just be going all off schedule, man. I'm trying to call in. You over here freestyling with J-Mac and Reister in the third hour, man. Come on, baby. You got important callers on the line, baby. Take our calls, brother.
See, you know what?
That's them. Rob. The
wait a minute. Hey, Sean, I'm always looking out for the listener. I'm always making sure.
You the people's champ.
No,
we know that, man.
Sure
Chris over there trying to get that extra shine.
No, we took calls, but what happens is, how, Rob, you and I, between calls, we'll say a little something. The guest, the fill-in always says a lot of something. That's where what happens. Might say 10-second comment.
Well, I know that people are waiting. Right. I know
Yeah.
people are waiting, and we don't want to do that. So
Chris is good, though, man. Chris, them freestyles, though, man, I got to admit, Chris is over there schooling them brothers, man. He's trying to put them up on that primetime radio games. I ain't too mad at Chris, but, man, it's hard being on all hoes.
Like bowling pins, one every day. A new one every
Knocking
day.
them down, running through them like wet toilet paper, baby. But my point real quick, Rob, man, I'm sorry, brother. They should have bubbled up, man. You looking at now two teams with big outbreaks. And earlier this year, they had the Nationals playing with a confirmed positive, man. Like I told y'all before, bro, the union's going to have a field day in the offseason when they look at how the MLB was so motivated by money. They weren't really even protecting the players. And I do give Rob Manfred props for calling him out, but why didn't he call himself out when he let the Nationals player play when he had a confirmed positive, man? It's all a money grab, and to me, this season isn't going to end well, man. Props to the NBA, man. It's a better product. The games have been amazing, and Chris called it, man. NBA runs everything right now.
All right, Sean.
I disagree with you, Sean, but I know you're Chris Broussard lackey. That's what Sean has turned into. Sean used to be. Sean
Sean is objective.
But Sean is a Chris Broussard lackey.
He got his panties in a bunch, Sean.
Man,
to use his phrase.
I can't even. Sean, you disappointed.
He's trying to guilt you into calling and saying something nice about him tomorrow.
All right, it's all good. We're done. Me and Sean, we're done.
Speaking of bubbles,